Howdy everyone, and welcome to day 5 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. Today's prompt is, what is the card that stalked you in 2016? I'm not really sure if this card qualifies as a stalker, but it certainly did pack a powerful punch, and it came back. Well, all in all, I remember distinctly 3 spreads where this card came to see me, and that is the Tower card. So the reason I nominated this card is because I think the Tower card, if it comes once, it's like a triple dose of a lot of other cards that aren't quite so prominent in energy. I first remember this card coming up in March. Then I remember it returning in May. And then I forgot until I went through my journal last night. And the Tower actually came up as the advice card, would you believe, in July. So I thought that was quite interesting in itself. It's saying, look, really, you're going to benefit from letting all this stuff go, seriously. Even though when I think about the Tower, I think about, say, the order or the journey of the major arcana. And, you know, the Death card comes along with open arms and says, hey, I invite you. I invite you to let go and let God. There is an opportunity for rebirth here. Don't be afraid. So if you release what is no longer viable, what is no longer fresh and applicable to your journey, if you release what has passed its used by date, you will transform, you will rise from the ashes, so I invite you. And then being human, we go, well, that's all very well for you to say, but, you know, who said anything about me giving away all my crystals, for instance, you know, whatever it be. And so we may let go, we may release at the Death card, but as we move forward, the universe, if you want to call it that, your higher mind says, hang on a second, hang on. There's still some stale energy here. Listen, if you're not going to do it, I'll do you a favor. I'll tear it down for you. And that's where the Tower comes in. So I began to think to myself, wow, you know, I'm all about releasing and letting go. I am a Scorpio. It's my job. I can't deny it. But I also have a Taurus moon, so that means the luminaries in my chart are opposite each other. There are opposing forces, so at times it's very, very challenging for me, even though I know it's for my greater good. So as an example, you know, let's use tarot as an example. I'm always banging on about, you know, I don't want to buy too many decks. I don't want to buy for the sake of buying, or I don't want to buy because there's a hype surrounding that deck. I need time to really sit and go within and make sure that deck is right for me to work with. Because I could buy many that I like, but unless I'm actually drawn to work with them, the Scorpio in me says, no. Because the Taurus in me says, oh, buy it, it's beautiful. And once I have it, I find it very hard to let it go. So that's kind of the, you know, one of my lessons in this life, one of the energy patterns that I'm here to work with. So I found it very interesting that the Tower card came up for those reasons. But not only that, numerologically, I was in a year of change. So clearly I was not doing enough, even though I felt it's so hard to describe. I think 2016 is one of the most complex years I've had in a long, long time. And a lot of people hated 2016. I can't say I did. I think it was a year of learning for me, and it was a year of release and change. But most of all, I learned so much about myself. It was very much a peel, yet another layer of that onion. And that's why I find it quite difficult to articulate. I find it difficult to share, to put it into words. But in my mind, I understand, I think, what was going on. So all in all, that Tower card came up to show me that there is so much more. And there was such a strange irony in my 5-year, because I felt like there were so many changes swirling within myself. But I would look around and everything's the same. I'm still doing what I do. My home is the same. My family is the same. Yet inside, there was almost a sense of a little bit of dissatisfaction and quite a bit of indecision, which annoyed the living daylights out of me, because I felt like I stepped into, or I stepped behind a veil. It's almost like you know what needs to be done, but you can't reach it, or you know something needs to be done, but you can't see it. It is the strangest energy, 2016. So I do see this Tower as being something of a gift, and I'm still not sure that it's over yet. And interestingly, when I pulled the last Tower card that I remember in July, as myself at this time, I asked, who am I now? I pulled the World card. So again, it was telling me there was this, great sense of completion. And the advice being the Tower was saying, so you are completing a personal cycle. You really need to get rid of this shit that no longer serves your highest good. And, my response was, well, I'm happy to do that, but what is it? I'm still not sure. So I think it's very much a Scorpio journey where the majority of the Scorpio energy lies in the area of the unseen, below the surface. It's like turning on a lamp and putting it under a table. You know it's on, but where is that lamp? Sorry, can I reach it? So I don't know that this Tower journey is over yet. When it comes to my own internal clear out, but I know it is happening. So if you combine the 5-year of change and the Tower, it's very, very powerful and punchy. And I will be honest with you, at one point, a lot of this energy manifested to me in my work, and I actually began to wonder if I was doing, it's so hard to describe. I know I'm in the right industry. I do believe I'm meant to work in this sort of spiritual counseling, guidance, clarity, healing kind of industry. I don't feel like I belong anywhere else anymore, but at the same time, I just thought, well, you probably heard me say in previous videos, I feel I'm meant to do what I do differently. And I won a reading from the beautiful and highly intelligent, oh God, I love your brain, Jessie Huntenberg. And that came at such an important time. I was at this sort of, pivotal point on my journey, this way or that. And I really began to wonder whether I was to give it up. So that's all a part of this Tower journey. Like, it just broke everything down into a million pieces, but I just didn't know which pieces I was to keep. And thank you again, Jessie, because that read helped me so much to gain clarity. And I think at the end of the day, that was the whole point. I was sitting there in the rubble, and it was my job to pace myself and go into the detail and calmly look at the pieces and reconfigure my life. So I feel I am on the right path. I've been told many times by clairvoyants, because I used to work with a number of them, that I am on the right path But that Tower card really sort of stirred things up. And I think it was, again, about the way I do what I do, not what I do. But it did send me into a bit of confusion. Anyway, I don't mean this to be too self-indulgent, but I was just going to share with you that a part of the Tower card also was losing my very dear friend Brad in June. And his passing was absolutely, totally and utterly unexpected. He went to bed and he didn't wake up. So for him, I'm so pleased for him. That just, you know, what a way to go, baby. Just go in your sleep. I'll share a little bit more about that in another video, about how the cards spoke to me when Brad passed away. But of course, that really did tear down my world in many ways. And I'm still kind of trying to accept it. And would you believe, the main reason I'm behind right now is because I've been visiting the hospice every day since I returned from Sydney on the 2nd of January, and a lifelong friend who I class as a cousin was dying basically, and he passed away last night. So I just wanted to say to everyone that's been watching my videos, thank you so much, because I might sound, you know, a little tired. I'm actually seriously exhausted. And please don't mistake that for, if I sound disinterested, it's not. This is a godsend to me, and thank you, Ethony. What a beautiful diversion and distraction. And it's just a beautiful exercise. I would have done it anyway, but it's kind of kept me going. But as I say, each half a day I was spending at the hospice, and I woke up having really bizarre dreams last night. And I'll save that for another video. But I knew. I actually said aloud. It's weird how you say things aloud and you kind of don't intend. But I said aloud, he's leaving. And then I just got the official word this morning that he passed away. So may he be at peace always. And you know, both those boys are bike boys, like fast motorbikes. And so I asked Brad to please be there for Mark to greet him. And, you know, you guys are going to zoom around up there like crazy nut jobs for eternity, you lucky ducks. Anyway, so that's that, people. I think the Tower card, as I start, I'm sharing that with you because I just feel it's a little scary. And it is another video because there's more to it astrologically. But I feel the Tower card is still with me in a sense. It's still completing its cycle. And that is why I nominated this as my stalker card, because I think being such a powerful energy, it's not, you know, here and then it's gone. It's just, to me, not the way the Tower works. So it has been a huge shift internally, and for that I'm grateful. I see that as a very positive thing. There's always muck and murk that Scorpio needs to release, let's be honest. But for my external world, it was so calm. It was almost a little eerie in 2016, I'm sorry, other than Brad leaving. But now, you know, Mark, and it does have me a little nervous because the only old wives' tale I've ever believed in is it always comes in threes. And the only reason I believe it is because I've experienced it many times in my life. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But I will soldier on with a positive outlook, because I did find, to cap off this story, that at the very end of 2016, I found the 9 of Pentacles continued to appear on a reasonably regular basis. But it was November, December. I thought, there's that card again. And I think it popped up, like when I was in Bondi over Christmas, it popped up 3 times, almost in succession. Different decks, different spreads. And I'm just hoping that that's just a little tangible reward for the loss and for the letting go I was actually able to do under the guidance of the Tower card. I just see it as a little blessing, that's something that's tangible, and that doesn't mean it's physical, But, you know, it's something to hold that I can actually feel in my heart and perhaps in my hands also. And, you know, it's about value. It's not necessarily about money. So for that, I'm very grateful, and I'm starting to feel that Nine of Pentacles energy. It just feels better. It does feel brighter. It does feel more colorful and lighter. It's almost like 2017, I'm starting to, other than Mark's passing, I just feel I'm starting to hear the birds again, if that makes sense. So thank you for taking this very personal journey with me today. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.